Welcome to the Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs podcast, a place for podcasters to learn what's actually working in the world of podcasting and how to use their podcast to generate consistent leads in their business. I'm your host, Jenny, and I'm so excited you're here. Hey, Savvies, welcome back to the podcast. So in today's episode, we're diving into what not to do when trying to grow your listenership. So let's get into today's episode. So number one, don't bring on a relevant big name guest in hopes of them promoting. So a lot of people think that having big name guests on their show is going to immediately skyrocket their downloads, but that's just not the case. Usually these people are frequently on podcasts or summits or just other speaking opportunities talking about the same couple of topics. So the likelihood of them actually promoting their episode to their audience is slim to none because they'd be inundating their audience with the same topics so frequently that it would just be like a spam fest. You know what I mean? So it just would not be great. Number two, don't put out more weekly episodes in hopes of growth. So this is another huge mistake that I see people make when trying to increase their downloads. Sure, you may see a slight increase in downloads month over month, but throwing more content at your audience isn't the solution. It's only going to overwhelm them, and it's definitely not going to lead to an influx of listeners. It's only going to lead to more downloads because it's the same people downloading your episodes, but there's just more of them, so it increases the downloads. Number three, don't buy reviews for your show. So this is definitely not a good practice to partake in, and I have been seeing more promotion services pop up lately where they will get you reviews for your show, and these are likely not legit reviews. And by likely, I mean 100% they're not legit reviews. So I would be very wary of any of these types of podcast review services that you see, because sure, this will increase your reviews, but that doesn't mean you're all of a sudden going to get an influx of new listeners because the reviews increase. You're just going to have these reviews of bots from bots. Basically, they're not real people, so they can't actually subscribe to your show and download and all that stuff. So it's really not the best solution. And then lastly, don't get discouraged and give up. It can be really easy to want to throw in the towel, but I encourage you not to do it. If you love your show and you're passionate about the topic, don't give up. Throughout the process, you will see ups and downs with your listenership, but that's totally normal. So don't let lower months get you down. It typically takes about a year to start seeing consistent growth. And even once you hit that year mark, you're still probably going to have months where you all of a sudden have a lot more downloads, and then months that are pretty average, and then you might have some lower months. It's going to be across the board, even once you hit that year mark. Nothing is really guaranteed, but it just takes time and consistency. So keep up the good work. Don't get discouraged. You've got this. Okay. So I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried any of these tactics when trying to grow your listenership? It's okay if so. It happens to the best of us. It's all right. It's not a big deal, but I'd love to hear from you. So head on over to our Instagram, which is Podcasting for Entrepreneurs. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if you've tried these or if you consider trying these, but didn't end up doing it. I'd love to chat with you about it. And then we can chat about ways to grow your listenership that are actually going to be sustainable, realistic, and long-lasting. So yeah, that is it for today's episode. You can find the show notes for this episode by going to savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com, and I'll see you in the next episode. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast player like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Stitcher, and leave a review. You can find us at savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com and on Facebook at Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs and Instagram at Savvy Podcasting. Make sure to join our free Facebook community for podcasters by going to savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com/community and join in on the exclusive community just for Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs listeners. I'll see you there.